Good morning, Yinzers and non-Yinzers alike. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 715 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to Finch. Finch, nice to see you, my friend. I haven't talked to you for a while. I know that you have some stuff going on. How you been, brother?
I've been doing great. I have a lot going on. Yeah, things going on. Been sick in and out. The family's been sick and been just doing some things here and there, but doing well. I have a vacation coming up this weekend, and I'm gonna feel a lot better after that, and then we're gonna be back at it.
Where are you going? You going away for vacation?
Las Vegas. Going to Las
Get
Vegas
out.
this weekend, man. Yeah,
How fun
yeah.
is
On
it?
Friday night,
You
I'm
and the
flying
wife?
out. Actually, her brother and I are going out.
Oh,
We're gonna go out to see
okay.
Dead End Company. That's the
Yeah,
Grateful
that's probably
Dead,
a better bet anyway.
with John Mayer playing guitar, and we're gonna see them playing at the Sphere on
Oh,
Saturday
wow.
night.
Ooh, at the
Ooh.
Sphere. Give them our logo and have it put it on the Sphere. I'm sure they'll do it for free.
There are places all over Vegas where people are allowed to attach stickers and stuff. So if you guys have logo stickers, I'll take them out there.
Yeah, I'll see what I have. See what I have laying around.
You've got 2 days
Yeah,
to
we
do
need Now, have you ever been out to Las Vegas, Finch?
No, this will be the furthest I've ever been from my home. So I'm very excited, but I'm also a little
Okay.
nervous. I'm traveling by myself. I will be meeting my brother-in-law and his wife out there. Every couple of years we go to a big concert together somewhere away from home. So they're
Yeah.
very experienced at traveling. She's actually a flight attendant, so they fly for free. So that's why they were able to do this. And just really looking forward to having a good time and playing some cards, eating some world-class food, and just having some fun. And nothing too crazy though. I'm not quite a sinner, but maybe a little bit of gambling, maybe some poker.
There you go.
The fun is next month.
Yeah, Vegas is a fun time. I've been
Yeah,
there a
you
couple
got- you gotta
times.
get-
It's a blast.
Yeah, I've never been. I have flown a few times, but
you ever
the
flown
last time
before,
I've flown
Finch?
was in 2017. So, yeah.
Okay. That's cool. It'll be
Are
a
you
good
lagging
time.
or something,
You know,
dude?
it's
You did
different
for a
going out
second
there, like
there.
as you said. Now you're going out
Okay.
there. I don't even know. But it's as a younger person, it would have been a different fun. I mean, now you're going with your wife's brother, so it's a different kind of fun that you're going to be having this time. But nonetheless, we hope that you have a good time.
Right.
Now, how
We
does
will.
that affect? Because people have been asking me what's going on with the two cranky jagoffs. Now, how does that affect the show moving forward while you're doing
So the
vacation?
next, I don't have another
You were
show
saying
this
something
week for
maybe.
Friday.
Yeah, you were saying something about you had an idea. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have
You
I have
don't?
some clips and stuff recorded that I could put together. But I don't have a live show for this Friday. But I'm going to put together a clip show and have
Yeah.
something to post on Friday. So we'll have something just put together, some funny stuff, some
Oh,
outtakes
cool.
and that I record pre-show, and we'll have that going. And then the following week, I actually saw Tim yesterday in person. He came to where I work, so we talked for a few minutes about it. The following Friday, we'll be back in action. He and his nephew Ryan as well will be back on the show, and we have much to discuss in the ways of the
Okay.
two cranky jagoffs world. So we are very excited to get back at it.
So this week, while you're doing the vacation thing, you have a recorded
Yeah, I got like a
piece to
clip
put
show.
on, and then you'll
Yeah.
be back next week. Okay. And
Mhm.
people were asking, and I just didn't know what to say. And I thought that you said that you had something put together to play while you weren't going to be live. So now I
Yes,
have
sir.
something to tell folks. Good morning to Mark Malone on the board. Mark Malone says the prostitutes are top notch. That's what I hear. Las Vegas hookers are top notch. And of course, Finch
I've
is going
heard
with his
that, but,
brother-in-law. But you know
yeah.
what they say, Finch? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So who knows? Who
E-
knows what's going to happen?
Except
You know what?
herpes.
Don't
Except
explain your way
herpes.
out. Don't have to say nothing, Finch. I'm just going to leave it right there. I'm just going to leave it right there, and I'm going to believe that you're going to do whatever you want, and it's going to stay in Vegas, and we're going to leave it right there. Good morning to Derpy. How you doing today, sir?
Great, grand. I'm ready to.
I heard you got big news. What's your big news?
No more beeps. No more. Except
Well,
for
what
Finch.
is
Finally got
that?
it fixed.
What is that?
Except for Finch.
My fire alarms are fixed,
That's
dude. They're
But yeah,
fine.
Well,
Derpy,
my fire alarms are fixed though.
Derpy finally getting the fire alarms fixed. I'm happy
After 2
for you,
years.
Derpy.
After 2 years.
Only took 2 years.
All you had to do is rip him off the wall.
Pretty much.
Why is it every time that Finch
You
is
are-
on, my thing lags? I don't know what I don't Finch, but every single time that you're on, I was for a second. But Derpy, you got rid of
maybe I'm sending you a
the fire alarm. Now this has been the
bad
first
juju.
time in about 3 years.
Yep. It's peaceful. I guess.
I think
for
it's your
everyone except Finch. Finch, I'm gonna get you, man.
It's his gaydar.
Now I
Get you, man.
was Derpy. I noticed this a couple nights. This isn't new news. I was
Yeah.
checking out you. You were doing a big the con up in Cleveland this past weekend, and you
Yeah.
dressed up and you went up there and you actually was on a show and talked about it, and I found it pretty interesting. I learned a lot about what went down. I learned a lot about you. I learned that your alarm was fixed and a whole bunch of things, Derpy. Now you actually went. We I don't know if you know, but we had a picture of you on the show yesterday, and we put the picture because Derpy.
Oh no.
He dressed up like
I'm
Superman.
lagging.
Derpy went to the Comic Con.
Is it him that's lagging or is
I
it
think
me?
it's him. I think it's him, Derpy. I think Mike is muted.
Yeah, it was Ryan. Ryan's lagging. I just
Everybody's
checked
lagging
the,
on my
live
end, so I
stream.
don't know who it is.
It's you. I just double checked the live stream. You're lagging. So yeah, Derpy up at the Comic Con. How was that, bud?
Busy. Fun and very pricey.
Were you a big baller?
Big baller? What do you mean by that?
Were you spending the cheese, man? Were you making
No,
it rain up there?
No, I only spent like $80.
That's it, just $80. Like,
Yeah.
man, you are cheap. Maybe is that because you were saving up money to fix the smoke detectors?
It took him 9 years to buy a pack of 9-volt batteries. What makes you
Yeah.
think he's going to spend any money on something at a festival or
At a
whatever,
Comic-Con,
convention?
yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Who I forget? He's the most frugal man alive.
I
There he is.
did meet a big YouTuber. But
Who'd you meet?
Star Wars really.
I'm here, so you can't meet anyone bigger.
Who is it?
Star Wars theory. He's a big Star
Oh,
Wars
ooh,
Oh
that,
yeah.
Ew, that guy. Ew,
I've watched his stuff.
ew. No, I don't like that guy.
He was selling his lightsabers and stuff. He has a company that sells lightsabers.
Are they real lightsabers?
Yeah,
Like they can
They
can
can't-
cut stuff with light?
they can't cut stuff with light, but they have noises and they actually
They
light
got-
up and you can fight with them.
My ex has a couple of those. Oh, what? Who's up on the board? We got Tortilla, we got Richard, we got Mark.
Hello.
Oh man, this is a prime crew right here. Derpy Rooney. How would he like?
Derpy Rooney.
Okay, if Derpy wouldn't spend money on a pack of batteries, do we think Derpy would spend money in free agency?
Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
So you would be the Bob Nutting of the sporting world, is what we're saying.
Pretty much.
There, okay. That sounds about. You're the Bob Nutting of the group. That's fair. What up, Brian?
Who's the ball of the group,
He's
Derpy?
lagging.
Yeah,
Yes.
Derpy's the Bob Nutting of the group because he doesn't want to spend any money. He spent $80 up at that Comic Con. Took him 3 years to spend $8 to finish his batteries. Yeah, so he's the Bob Nutting of the group.
Well, didn't we establish that he didn't actually replace the batteries? He just ripped them off the wall and threw them away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what happened. So now he is living in a very unsafe environment.
he was before. He
I
was
understood.
before. so-
Understood, but still.
But Finch, you got to check this out. I went over to his. If you go over on YouTube, you could look up his Derpy Entertainment, and he was doing a show with these nerds, and he was out nerding all the nerds, and he was like nerding them to where they had no clue what he was talking about. I was like, "That's my boy. There he is, right there, the Dirt Man." But he did. He had a big nerd weekend. He went up to the con. He dressed up like Superman. Took $80 with him. I mean, I don't know these cons, but I know that you have to take some serious money with you. And Derpy, what did you say you bought with your money?
You know Power Rangers?
Did you eat?
Do you know Power Rangers, fellas?
Yeah.
I am familiar with the Power Rangers. Yes.
Of
I
course.
bought like a Nerf sword of the Green Rangers like sword.
Okay.
Nice.
It was.
How much
cool.
did that cost you?
Well, the other ones that in the range, the other ones were like over 100, but this one was like 40. So
you got a deal.
Yeah.
You're
Good for
frugal.
you.
He's frugal. See, he went pure Pittsburgh Pirates. He went cheap. He went for the cheap option, spending money to upgrade. I like it. He's living the gimmick. You are Bob Nutting.
Let me ask you, Derpy, have you played with your sword?
No.
Have you shined your sword yet?
No.
Nightly, daily,
but
multiple times a day,
twice on Sundays.
But I took a picture with another.
Whoa! You took a picture of someone else's sword with your sword?
No, they were dressed as a Power Ranger, so I took a.
Was it the Pink Ranger?
No, I wish.
It was the Blue Ranger.
Wait, you took a picture?
No.
Picture of somebody dressed like a Power Ranger?
Yes,
Wouldn't we taking a picture of you because you were?
How many people came up to you? You were dressed as Superman, right?
What was that, Finch?
I said you were dressed as Superman, right?
Yeah.
So how many people came up to you and got a picture with Superman?
No one.
Exactly.
But we had a meetup. We had a Superman meetup, and I took a picture with all the Superman.
Okay. So there was a gaggle of Supermen.
Who were the actors?
Yes.
It was raining Supermen.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
How many? Who was there that was famous, Derpy? Anybody that we would know?
Lots of
Derpy could be
actors,
Superman, Finch. You've never seen Derpy and Superman at the same place at the same time.
I saw the photo. I saw the
What's
photo
that,
of him
Derpy?
dressed as Superman.
Superman was actually created in Cleveland. I don't know if you knew that.
There it is.
Probably
Look
not
on your
because we're
screen, on
Pittsburgh
Mike's
fans.
screen. Put it back up. Mike, put that back
Because
up so
we're
we can see
Pittsburgh
that.
fans. That's probably why.
Look, all right, so there you go. On the screen right there.
That's a perfect photo. Thanks.
There's Derpy.
Thanks.
Now I know that
tried to save the
you
day.
wouldn't. Now I know that. Now I know
Peak
that you would be
content.
confused. You would see him and probably think he was Superman. That's not really Superman. That is Derpy, right?
Yes.
Buddy.
Derpy man.
That is how he dressed and went to the con. But Derpy, I am again caught you up. You did very top end. Go check over on his show, or on the show that he was on his YouTube page, guys. Very interesting. Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, I can hear you right now.
Okay.
Beep.
It just seems like there's a big there's a big pause. Tortilla Jackson, what's up? All right, Tortilla, what's up? Mark Malone, what's up? Richard, what's up? Everybody, what's up? Tortilla called him Derpy Rooney. But yeah, there you have it, everybody. Derpy had a big weekend. Derpy's big weekend out. You've seen how he left the house. He went dressed like Superman. Again, you've never seen Superman and Derpy in the same place at the same time, so it makes you wonder. But Derpy, along with doing that, all that stuff, he also managed to fix his fire alarm. So that is fixed, people. You will not, after 3 years, you will not hear Derpy's fire alarm anymore. But you know what? I thought we fixed this before, Derpy, and we'll see. I'm not gonna. But let's get into it, everybody. Good morning, show. Now this week we had another death. We had George Foreman, of course. So we have to get back into the death pool, guys, because we all lost. Is there anybody? Yeah, for sure. I mean, Gene Hackman a couple weeks ago, and then again with George Foreman this weekend. We have to get new people picked on our death pool. You don't have to do it now, but kind of think on it through the course of the show. We'll get everybody's death poll at the end of the show. That way we have it on record, and we'll see if anybody could win on the death poll. Tortilla Jackson, he says, I'm Batman. Guys, let's get into something. Let's get into it here. Finch, did you see the story of this coach up in New York? He's a girls basketball coach, and his team
I've seen this.
went to the state championship game and lost. And his team of gals to go congratulate the other team. And the coach comes over and he yanks this one girl's ponytail. I mean, enough to where it pulls her head back. And you could see the girl's pissed off. You know, she kind of tries to get away from him, and anyway, he got fired.
Yeah.
Did anybody see this?
I've seen this.
No, I missed that one.
Yeah, I saw him pull
What's
the
wrong
hair
with
and
people?
everything, and
What?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, I was surprised
you
she
even
didn't
do
turn
that?
around and punch him, slap him. Right?
Did this girl say something to him previously that we know of?
No,
She say something
not that we
rude or-
know of.
no? Not that
all
she
you see on
deserves
the- on
that
the-
anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, what would give him the motivation to be that pissed off at her or at anyone specifically? You know what I mean? That doesn't make
It
sense.
starts out from the video that you see, and it's been all over the news. It's a team of girls lined up on the sideline. Again, it looks like getting ready to go congratulate the other team. They're slapping. They look
Right.
sick. But the coach at some point comes over, girl by the hair, yanks her. I mean, it was malicious. And you could see the girl wasn't happy. She kind of tried to get away from him.
was-
And
it
this
was
other
a
girl kind of
hard
stepped in
yank.
between them. Yeah. It was a yank. I would definitely describe that as a yank.
Yeah,
But,
it was
there you go.
not
He
a
got
gentle
fired.
pull.
He ended up coming back and saying that he apologizes and this and that. But why'd you do it? Why are you yanking girls by their ponytail? You know what I mean? You don't even do that in real life. You don't walk around just grabbing people by their hair.
Well, like Ginger
You know?
Joe's, yeah, like Ginger Joe say, some girls like it like that, but no, I don't think in that moment.
Obviously not this high school kid. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, it was high
Yeah.
school? I thought it was college. Oh, my bad. Now I feel bad for me
No.
for repeating that joke. Oh, my bad.
It was in New York. It was a high school. Again, it was a state championship game. But so anyway, he got fired. But interesting, as I said, who the hell does that? Who does that? Who goes around yanking people's hair?
Yeah,
In any level, anywhere in life, except like Ginger Joe said, of course, some chicks do dig this.
yeah.
Your mic's
You know,
muted, Finch.
Sorry. He not only does he pull her hair, I'm watching it right now. Not only does he pull her hair, but he like runs after her and puts his finger right in her face and is yelling at her face with another player in between them. It's like, dude, how freaking pissed off are you at this girl?
Yeah. Good thing.
What is
you
this
got
like? Are you
fired.
lost the game for us
What's
type
this dude's
situation?
problem?
Or
I hate people.
right?
dude, he's this old,
So-
fat, bald, white guy.
Tortilla Jack says
course.
doing that in a game, I can only imagine what goes
Mike,
on in
is that
practice.
you?
Yeah, what does this guy do behind guys? Tortilla Jackson said this
Mhm.
happened on
Yeah,
in a
exactly.
big game, and probably more people than it was with any of their games being the championship. What goes on at practice when the doors are closed with this guy? Just interesting.
Right. Exactly.
Ginger Joe says maybe he was having a flashback, forgot where he was. LOL. Maybe he was having a flashback. Good morning, Ginger Joe. How are you today, sir? Guys, let's get into some sports. Pirates wrapped up preseason yesterday. They lost 5-1 to the Minnesota
I
Twins.
wasn't ready for
The
that.
Pittsburgh
Oh, that's good.
I wasn't
they're
ready
off
for
for
that.
2
Finch.
days.
I was not able to recover.
You're
And
lagging
they'll
again,
be
Ryan.
starting regular season on Thursday, guys, at 4:10 in Miami. 4 games against the Marlins. Pirate baseball is back. I know you can't on the hill for the What's that, Derpy?
He's talking Pirates baseball. What? You're lagging.
Oh,
Bad.
you're lagging. Leave me
Yeah, it's
alone.
coming and going on your end.
I'm not lagging. You're lagging.
Mike, there literally is nothing. Mike, there's that I didn't do. We have to get this fixed today. We can't. Listen, look how stupid this looks. I mean, go back and watch. I mean, crinkle your eyes, but go back and watch the show, and you're going to sit there and you're going to say to yourself, "How dumb!"
Like,
it
there's
looks
literally
stupid.
nothing I can do. There's literally nothing I can do.
Know that? Do you know that? Obviously, there's something's wrong, and if something, obviously something could be fixed, right?
I don't know. I honestly have no idea. Like I've tried everything I can think of.
I mean, yours is working fine. What's the problem?
Do not know.
I mean, it's not funny. It's stupid. It looks dumb. It's just it's messing up the whole production, and it's not good. All right, we have to let's move on. Yinzer Joe says maybe he was having some flashbacks, forgot where he was. LOL. Sounds like a short in the audio connection. Keeps clicking on and on. Yeah. And there's nothing that I didn't do to not prepare. I rebooted the modem. I cleared out my computer. NCAA. Finch, I don't know if you caught any of the tournament over the weekend, but the four number one seeds in the tournament, they did advance. So everybody that we all took into the tournament. Finch, your Florida did win. Mike's Duke won. Derpy's Auburn won. And my Houston won. So we're going into the Sweet 16, which is here on the show. But I got to be honest with you, Florida's looking really good after all the teams that I've seen, especially of the four that we picked. I like Florida.
Let's go Duke, baby. But no, yeah, Florida did look really damn good.
Lots of basketball to be played, though, guys.
Yeah, because we're
also, guys,
around the Sweet 16.
So that picks back up on Thursday. Yeah, absolutely. So we do. See, I don't even know. I don't know what's being coming across. I don't know what's being cut up. This is bad, Mike. I think we're going to take the rest of the week off, as a matter of fact, because we have to focus on getting this fixed. I mean, this is A1 important, being able to be heard in communication. So, I do apologize. We're going to take the rest of the week off to get this fixed, get this taken care of. We'll probably come back Monday, hopefully full speed ahead. But I do apologize. We just can't continue. We can't continue like this. It's terrible. We might as well put on a terrible show. Boy. So yes, NCAA. Hey guys, by the time the weekend's over, it will be the Final Four, believe it or not. So we're going to follow all four of our teams. We all did take a number one seed in the tournament. They all are still alive. Mike's Duke has Arizona this weekend. Derpy's Auburn has Michigan. Finch, you have Maryland. Your Florida has Maryland. And my Houston has Purdue. That's all coming up on Thursday. Also, Mike, in the UFL. I know, Yinzer Joe, it does. I just, and again, no matter what I do, it'll work for a day. And then it goes back to what it was doing. And I continue the same setup. I continue to reset the modem. I continue to make sure my computer's clean. I plug and unplug everything. There's no stone I don't leave unturned.
I wonder if you have like one bad USB cable somewhere or something. Like try using a different camera or something, or try using a different microphone or something like that. Sometimes you'll get a USB cable that's slightly bent, and it'll just the whole system will just F up. It could be something as simple as like a connection.
Well, the thing is, Finch, you're getting the Pro and you're getting it in the mic, which are two different hookups.
Yeah,
So
but
that's the part that's really throwing me off. Speech and the audio and the visual. Yeah.
But what it does is the short in one thing throws the whole system off. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like it's all of them.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, if you get one area, especially when it comes to like USB or sometimes with video cards, you'll see it a lot. Yeah, it'll just make the whole system just be buggy.
So just try plugging a different microphone. Is what you're saying?
Maybe try a different microphone the next time or a different camera. You know, don't go out and buy something new, but try something different and test it. You know. Go do a live show. You can just do a live show in the middle of the night sometime and just test it and see if it acts up, you know, and just go from there and see
yesterday was almost perfect.
Sometimes you have to swap pieces.
Because yesterday was almost perfect. I think there was one glitch throughout the show.
Yeah,
and I'm okay with that. But I mean, today, it's terrible. It's terrible. I just don't understand what happened from yesterday to today that's making it that much of a difference. But again, we will continue on. I don't know how it's going to turn out, guys, but we will be working on this today. Moving on, I promise, guys. User Joseph Finch, he got the right idea. So we will try that. Be one of the things we do try. Guys, let's jump over to the as I said, the Pittsburgh Pirates. They open up on Thursday against Miami. So on Thursday, the NCAA tournament continues in the Sweet 16 round. Mike, your Pittsburgh Penguins, though, the Pittsburgh Penguins are back at it tonight. They travel to the Tampa Bay to play the Lightning. This game's at 7:00 p.m. The Penguins, Mike, they have 10 games left. Right now, sitting at 29, 32, and 11. The Lightning are 40, 25, and 5. Is this team seriously trying to make a playoff run after everything that they just went through this season? Are they really trying to get into the playoffs?
No, they're not going on a playoff run. They're just playing good hockey right now. They're getting hot right now when you would want them to get hot. Usually the Penguins do get hot. They're a historically hot team in March, so it follows historical trends. But you know, after sucking all year long, you could have gone 1 year without getting hot at the right time, boys. You know, it's just like, you know, when they would go on their cup runs, this is when they would get hot.
It really appeared that they were throwing it
all the way through. Yeah, and now, you know, ever since they called Jari back up and he was sucking all year, he's playing out of his mind right now. It's insane. But like I said yesterday, this is a good foundational step for next year. You're seeing all the new guys that they brought in, how well they're fitting into the system, how well they're playing. It's a good sign, but at the same time, it's like, if you could finish in the top 5, that would be fucking awesome, boys. But no, we can't do that. We can't even tank properly.
How far are they out of a playoff spot, Mike?
They're 6 points out of a playoff spot, but the teams that they are chasing have 3 games in hand. So the Penguins have played 72 games. The Senators and the Canadians, who we were chasing, have played 68 games. So yeah, there's the margin of error for the Penguins is small. The percentage to make it is small, but it's an encouraging sign to see the way they're playing.
So again, 10 games left, Mike, 6 points back. You know, you got to win some games, hope some other teams lose. And as you said, the margin for error is definitely getting smaller by the day. Yep. So, I mean, hopefully they could do it. I you know, everything that we've said over this past season wouldn't be something if they got to the playoffs and they were actually the team from Pittsburgh that could win a round and get out of the first round, you know?
In the way they're playing, I think they could win the first round. They'd have to find a favorable matchup, but I think they would be able to do it. It's the way they're playing right now. The way Crosby's been playing all year, and especially after the All-Star break, that Four Nation tournament, he's been one of the best players in the NHL since then.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So if the Penguins somehow pull off the miracle and make the playoffs, okay? Let's say they make the playoffs and they're a very low seed. They're going to be like a, 8 seed or whatever it is. They're just going to end up losing and finishing and having a mediocre draft pick, and it'll just be the whole thing over again, right? We make that same argument about the Steelers every single year. Why aren't we making that argument about the Penguins?
That is because we know more about the NFL
I know
draft
why.
than we would the NHL draft. Because the NFL draft, you can get a player this year and he can contribute right away. Whereas in hockey,
Exactly.
there's
That's
only
the
like
answer.
one or two guys
Takes time. Yeah.
that would be an immediate fix. Everyone else it takes longer
Unless you're
time.
getting the top guy.
Yeah, and even then it's a
Sometimes
crapshoot.
it doesn't work out. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, in hockey, it's such the percentages of guys who pan out compared to, like, let's say the NFL draft, it's such a vast difference. Like, you have a better chance of making the NFL than probably the NHL roster, because a lot of guys come up as undrafted guys, 7th-round picks that come out of nowhere. A lot of your first-round talent just doesn't really pan out.
Well, they have a million
I think the
guys in the minor league systems in hockey. Though,
exactly.
You know,
Right.
Yeah.
the NFL
it's harder.
The NFL
to,
don't even have a minor league team.
Yeah.
Yeah, the NFL does have a minor league team. They're called the Cleveland Browns, by the way.
Well, guys, I'm having trouble. The Steelers. Let's get into some Steeler talk here. That's right. Less than a month, 1 month from yesterday, it's going to be the NFL draft. I'm going to ask a question. And again, something else like the death pool. I don't need an answer right now, but think about this. Who is your number one draft pick? Let's say that you, Finch. Let's say that you, Derpy. Let's say that you, Mike. You guys are the GM. You're sitting down, and let's just say that everybody's available. Let's not say I'm worried about this guy being gone. If you want Shedeur Sanders, that's who you got to say. Just think about it, guys. Who is your number one pick? Because there is a little bit of a debate here. There's much talk about possibly going after their defensive linemen in round one, and even Mike has favored this in some extent. But at the end of the day, guys, you're missing a person. You're missing a person, and it's a need, defensive line. But on the offense, you're missing a handful of people with a handful of needs. So what would justify going after a defensive lineman in the first round? I mean, this guy from Michigan, he's tough. Yeah, I mean, you want to get that you want to get that dominant guy, Mike. But is this guy? Is he Jalen Carter? I mean, are you going to get the same disruption from him that you were from Jalen Carter? Because here's the thing. I would have taken Jalen Carter in the first round. Is this guy that good? Because if he's not Jalen Carter, I don't go him in the first round. I want a freak. I want somebody who's going to be who's going to just mess up everything for the offense, every play. Is he him? Because if he's not, I would go with the offense in the first round. Again, you have holes. You have a running back you need. You have possibly another receiver they could go after. I mean, George Pickens is probably not going to be around after this season. We still need a quarterback. You don't have any depth on the offensive line. Really, the only position that we are set on offense is the tight end position. We got about 2 or 3 guys. So, I mean, is it justifiable taking a defensive lineman with your first round pick? Unless, again, like I said, if he's Jalen Carter status, possibly I might do it. But if he's not, what are you really doing?
Let's say you get a D lineman in the first round and he gives you the similar production that Cam Hayward has given you every year. 8 to 10 sacks a year, graded as one of the best run stuffers in the NFL. If you get a guy who gives that production, apparently, all the NFL says Cam's a great player. That'd be a good guy to have. Now, I'm in favor of getting a D lineman, but I'm also in favor of getting a wide receiver, a cornerback in round one. I'm for whatever is the best player available. I think the Steelers actually have that luxury of taking the best player available, as long as they're not an offensive lineman. Just grab the best player available on the board right there and just go, because you can probably plug them in to start anywhere on your team. So whoever's the highest rated guy, you can just take them. Like, hey, this is the best player we have. We're surprised you fell. Take them, and you probably got a plug and play starter right away. Because like you said, not just the offense has a lot of holes, the defense has holes too. But I quarterback, running back, wide receiver, all viable options in the first round for the Steelers.
And I think that you want to get a first round talent in one of those three positions. If why get a first round defensive lineman when you already have supposedly a good defense? I mean, the defense is supposed to be good. You're paying them more money than anybody else out there. So I would want to get a first round talent on my offense because that's where you're really lagging. Again, your three skill positions are the most important positions on the field. I think that alone is why I can't justify going after a defensive lineman. Again, if somebody with Jalen Carter out of Georgia from a couple years ago is available, Mike, I jump on him because he's disruptive Mike, the guy almost intercepted a spike. You know what I'm saying? That's where the level of play that this guy is. He jumped under the cat's legs, under the center. He reached his hands out. The quarterback was going to go spike the ball, and he almost intercepted it. This is the guy I want. Guys like this, Cam Hayward, with his mystery tackles where he falls on people when he gets, mystery tackles in his stat line. That's a big difference from what you see from a guy like Jalen Carter. Carter is a disruptor. Cam's a very big guy who's a solid player at that position. To say he's number one out of 200 and whatever, I think is crazy
I know, right?
in the league. But as I said again, Mike, I think you have to get first round talent on offense. You don't need first round talent on defense because you have again, it's supposed to be a good defense. If they play right and and are prepared and coached right, they're going to be a good defense. I just think you have to get a first round talent, Mike, on offense. You have to, unless again you get Jalen Carter 2.0.
Yeah, and there's like I do want a D lineman in the first round, but I'm not opposed to waiting for the third round. There's a couple that could potentially be there. You got CJ West out of Indiana. He's a really good prospect. JJ Pigas from Ole Miss should be there in the third round too. Two really good guys that you can get there. And if we're lucky, Phillips from Maryland, he's supposed to be a diamond in the rough. Just needs more reps. A really good player. You can trade back in the second round and get him, and then in the first round, address your quarterback, your running back, or your wide receiver. I'm okay with that. There's guys at the D line in the third round, and I don't think we should wait anything after that. But the first round, I'm agreeing with you, but I've been making the case we need a D lineman, but I agree with you too. We need another running back, need another wide receiver, because like you said, you never know what's going to happen with George Pickens, especially after this year. Is he going to stay or is he going to go? Might as well have the heir apparent right there.
And again, it's a good question, Mike, because again, if you're paying DK Metcalf the fourth highest money to wide receivers in the league, you're have to pay George Pickens some cash next year. And are they going to invest all that money into their two wide receivers? I just don't see the Pittsburgh Steelers again.
No.
Depending on what they do moving forward, this you can't pay that kind of money out to George Pickens and DK Metcalf after this season. I just don't see how that's possible.
You can
afford to have other players
work your magic.
You turn into the Bengals, basically.
Yeah, and that's yeah. I'm gonna say like the Eagles are able to do it. I think Omar Khan would be smart enough to do it because he's the one who manipulated the cap for 15 years under Kevin Colbert, so they could do it. But are they going to want to pay George Pickens that kind of money? And like he's got to show like this year he can keep his head on straight game in, game out, and through the entire year. And if not, there's at least 4 options available in the first round at wide receiver that can give you really good production across from DK Metcalf. If they want to go wide receiver 1 in round 1 this year, there's even guys too that were kind of like second round talent. You trade back in the first round and you snag them would be a good investment for the future.
Let's jump on some messages. I'm going to start back with Ginger Joe when he said, guys, the NFL fans, they expect more out of their teams than they do like hockey. I agree. I for the most part here in this country, I think that's a safe bet, safe to say. D-line. Ginger Joe says, I'm going D-line unless Genty is there. Tortilla says, if Hayward goes down this year, our D-line is screwed. I feel like we should take Grant at 21. If he's gone, trade back and take either Harmon or the running back Hampton. If he's there, get some day 2 picks. Well, I gotta be honest. This is certainly a less ideal off season than last year, Mike, and even the year before that, because through some guys that we've got, and I don't feel as good this year about what we've done so far in free agency as key players that we need. But let me catch what Yinzer Joe says here. He says, guys, our offense is pretty good right now. He goes on to say our defense needs help. Everybody running through them, and they have to prep for the future with the best defensive tackle possible. You have to remember their last 6 playoff games, they've been shut out in the first quarter 76-0. So who's bad? Is it the offense or is it the defense? I mean, they're both
exactly.
pathetic.
It's which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Right. But we made a move yesterday, guys. We got an inside offensive lineman. I don't know if you guys seen this. This guy they got from New England. His name is Lettuce Smith. Lettuce Smith. This is, I believe, he plays on the inside of the offensive line. We got the waivers from the Patriots. A 6'3", 314-pound, 26-year-old. He got drafted in the 6th round. He started 1 game last year for New England. So, Mike, I mean, we talked a little bit about how the offensive line could certainly use depth. Yeah. They're picking guys up like this. They're picking guys like this up on defense. Again, not as impressive as it's been the past 2 years as guys that they have been bringing in for depth. Let me give you some of the names. These are some of the people that we've lost. First, Preston Smith, Najee Harris, James Daniels, Justin Fields, Dan Moore, Nasty Nate Herbig, Larry Ogunjobi, Dante Jackson, Van Jefferson, Landon Roberts, Mike Williams, Kyle Allen. Guys, we lost a lot this year. Now this is let me see where we get back. Okay, so this is what we got back. Tell me, do you guys think that we're doing okay in the offseason? I'm going to not say the first couple names because they're the biggest. I'll come back to them. All right, so what we got in return this year in free agency, we got Brandon Eccles, Malik Harrison, Mason Rudolph. We brought back Ben Skoranek, Scotty Miller. We got that Daniel Akule, Juan Thornhill. Bring back Isaiah Loudermilk. Then, of course, Slay, Metcalf, and Kenneth Gainwell. I feel that we lost a lot more than we gained. Where the past couple seasons, I feel that the guys that we lost, we were cutting fat, but we were bringing back some decent players. We were bringing back Patrick Quinn. We were bringing back Dante Jackson. We were bringing in these guys. This year, it feels like we lost a lot of talent, Mike. And again, these are names that, these are your starting running back, Daniels. I mean, starting cornerback. Dante, does it feel that way to you, Mike? Or am I out of my mind?
I don't want to say you're out of your mind, but like Dante Jackson, Darius Slay's better cover guy than Dante was. A lot of Dante's picks came from zone coverage, and he wore down as the year went on. And Slay was consistent all throughout the year for Philly. So I think that's a slight upgrade there. Dan Moore. The second half of the year, he completely turned into the Dan Moore we've all been hating. The first half of the year, he was playing at a Pro Bowl level. So losing him and putting Broderick Jones over there, that might be a wash. Dan Moore gave up the most sacks in the NFL last year. So, he's being replaced by the guy who gave up the second most. So for me, that's a wash. Running back, that is a loss. We got to replace those yards. We got to replace the consistency from Najee of the ball handling security. So that needs replaced right there. But DK Metcalf, that's a huge upgrade over Van Jefferson. Landon Roberts,
absolutely.
You're hoping, that's the loss right there. But you're hoping Malik Harrison, who they like, also as a rotational piece. You're getting that Cole Holcomb, who they hope can stay healthy. That fills a need right there. And the ascension of Peyton Wilson. So 3 guys to replace 1, 2 are already on the roster. It might be a wash, but I was hoping we would be able to keep a Landon Roberts. To me, that's the big loss. But I'm hoping by, linebacker by committee, they will be able to fill that void right there. But the other ones, no. Like outside of Najee and Landon Roberts, I don't think we lost a whole lot. And getting DK Metcalf, to me, that's a huge upgrade. Darius Slay, yeah, he might be long in the tooth, but he's shown he can still play.
Well, obviously, and that's why I made a point to not mention those guys first, Mike, and that's why I made a mention.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
point to not mention those guys first because those are the big pickups. But for
Mhm.
what we lost, a volume of players, certainly never heard of half of these guys. Mike, let me ask you, Finch. Now, these people are the people that's top free agents still available in the league right now. Of course, Aaron Rodgers, Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, C.J. Mosley, Chubb, Dobbins, Amari Cooper, Lockett, Russell Wilson, Brandon Scherf, Stephon Gilmore, Von Miller, Zadarius Smith, Matthew Judon, Elijah Moore, Justin Simmons, Kazir White, Julian Blackman. Any of these names, guys, because the thing is, we have some money. Steelers have some money. Any of those names stick out to you that would be somebody that you're interested in? And obviously, free agency's been going on. Go out there. Anybody in that group of names, Finch, stick out to you that the Steelers could use?
Nick Chubb was in that list, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
Nick Chubb might not be a bad idea. We could use a running back. He's a proven commodity. He had some good seasons. He's proven that he's good in a 1-2 system, which he had going on for a while in Cleveland. He's an experienced running back. I think he might be it might be a good idea to take a look at Nick Chubb if anybody else. That's the name that sticks out to me first.
What is it
Yeah,
about Nick
same
Chubb
here,
right
Nick.
now, Mike? Why is he still floating out there? Why isn't the Browns signing him? Why isn't he going somewhere? Is it the injury, Mike? Is he just came back off a serious knee injury? Is that what it is? And if that's the case, I mean, is it wise to pick up Nick Chubb?
It could be part of the reason why, and I think he wants to go back to Cleveland. He's comfortable there. He has played his whole career there, and some guys like that. They like that comfortability. They know where they've been, and they don't want to change it up, especially at this point in his career. But I don't think Cleveland has offered him anything.
Cleveland.
Yeah, and
it's Cleveland, guys.
I know, and I wouldn't mind bringing him back. Or signing him here to Pittsburgh. I think it would be good.
Since it's been a little bit of time now and he hasn't been picked up, we might be able to save a couple dollars on him as well. It'd be nice to save a couple bucks on him, even though we have money to spare. But it's always good to save where you can to maybe spend somewhere else a little bit more down the road. So,
absolutely. Let's jump on a couple of these messages, guys. Ginger Joe says the last 6 games were against playoff caliber teams. Of course, they aren't scoring, especially when Pickens was out for 3 of those. The defense didn't help either. I mean, the past 6, again, first quarter of the past 6 playoff games, we were losing 76-0 when you combine it all together. Again, who's really playing good? Is it the offense? Is it the defense? Nobody's playing well. Cataball Warrior, what's up, brother? Good afternoon to you. Cataball Warrior says playing comp pick game for next year. Mike, that sounds about right. They're going to have mad picks next year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, right now, I just pulled it up. Right now, we have a 3, a 4, and a 6. That's what it's projected as for 3rd round pick for Dan Moore, 4th rounder for Losing Fields, and a 6th rounder for James Daniels. Now, if we sign Aaron Rodgers or anyone else, I don't know how that will affect it because there's a whole formula that goes in. If you're on a team by this date, you count. If you're not, you don't count. It's weird. But right now, we're sitting on an extra 3rd, a 4th, and a 6th.
Hey, Derpy, let me ask you this. Let's just say Aaron Rodgers does land here in Pittsburgh. Some people are calling it a sure bet. You're hearing all these terms flying around. Ask you this. Are you prepared if Aaron Rodgers comes here for all the primetime games? And now that sounds fun and it sounds exciting and it sounds like Monday nights and Sunday nights. But at the end of the day, an average guy, an average fan, they like to get up and they like to do their thing on Sunday, watch the game, and have the rest of the day. And this is even something we've talked about on the show. Some people don't like evening games. Some people have to work early in the morning. Some people have things going on. Derpy, are you prepared? Are you prepared for Aaron Rodgers? Because as they did in New York, they gave them guys a lot of primetime games. Certainly his first season, the year that he got hurt, and then the Jets played without him through all those primetime games that they did give him, that they did schedule him for because they had Aaron Rodgers. Derpy, do you like that as a fan here in Pittsburgh? If Aaron Rodgers comes here, they're probably going to give us a handful of primetime games, which is good if you're winning. I mean, you don't want a bunch of primetime games if you ain't any good. But do you like the primetime? or what do you think, man?
I like the afternoon game, right after church. I do not like
Yeah.
the. I do
I
not
mean,
like
most people
the
do.
evening games. And then, I mean, I don't. It's gonna hurt if Rogers does come because, I mean, we're so desperate at this point. All of us are.
Yeah.
We really don't know what we are going to do, what our future is, at all. I mean, we should have thought of this when Ben was here, like before he retired or before we pushed him away. Um, but we don't.
Well,
We
they
didn't.
did think about it, but they went with Mason Rudolph,
Right.
and it just didn't work out. You know.
Right. It's just like this is
there
where
you
we're
go,
at,
straight
and
from
we're gonna have to go through it.
that's straight from the mouth of Superman, everybody. In case you didn't know, that is the most super answer that you could have got. Couple things here. Let's see. Okay, Yinzer Joe says Tennessee loves turnstiles. Laugh my ass off. Tortilla says we should trade some of our picks next year to move back up into the second. Comp picks will replace the picks we trade. Yinzer Joe asks, guys, what do you think of Elijah Moore? What's your
kind of like
Go ahead,
Cannibal Word said, he's bounced around Elijah Moore. He's went to the Jets, then went to the Browns. Yeah. Like he's put up decent numbers for like a number 3 receiver where he's gone, but I think we get that production out of Calvin Austin. And so for a guy that's been on 2 teams in 4 years,
yeah, you
I kind of want to stay away from that. I kind of want to stay away from that. So I'd rather have Calvin Austin than Elijah Moore.
Yinzer Joe goes on to say Rodgers was cut, not a free agent. Won't cost a comp pick,
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Cataboss says Rodgers. Cataboss says Rodgers doesn't count. I think they had a player or two after the draft. And then finally, Cataboss goes on to say Ben's ego was too fragile to handle drafting a replacement. That's interesting. You know what? I don't know if I doubt that either. Could very well be, Mike.
It's a good point.
So there you go, guys. Mike, how many seasons is this team away from being a competitor, in your opinion, with what we have now, with what's possibly on the table this year's draft? Again, we still have a lot of starting positions we got to fill, and again, we're probably not going to have next season. How far is this team truly off? I think that's what the average Steeler fan ultimately wants to know. How far are we truly off from where we want to be?
I think until we blow it up.
3 to 4 years.
But you might be right there.
3 to 4 years at minimum. At minimum, until we are
Mike,
a legit contender.
And if I can, when a couple years ago when we drafted Najee, I can't remember. I think it was 2 years ago. I asked you the same question, and you know what you said to me?
What?
3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So this just shows you, and it's almost like that episode of Seinfeld when they went to the Chinese restaurant and they kept asking how long, and the Chinese guy kept going 5-10 minutes. It's the
5
same.
minutes,
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Here we are, 2 years down the road.
Exactly.
Here we are, the exact same situation, Mike. 3 to 5. I don't think you're wrong. I agree with what you're saying, but it just shows you what did we just do over the past 2 years that got us literally nothing. We're finishing basically the same that we did 2 years ago, with a barely over 500. If you get into the playoffs, you lose the first round. So again, 3 years ago, when we said 3 to 4 years, this is not where I thought we would be at this point.
No, me either. Because you were hoping, okay, Kenny Pickett would develop, your Najee would develop, the line would develop, the defense front 3 would be a dominant force, the secondary would figure itself out. None of that has happened. So certain players are playing well. What's his name on the outside? Alex Highsmith. He's developed into a damn good player. Not bad for a 3rd round pick. You're getting guys that are developing, but not everyone is panning out the way we were hoping they would be, or developing as fast as we would hope we would be. And that just keeps resetting that clock, keeps kicking it down the road.
Didn't Cataboss said, didn't we take Edmonds with Lamar available? That's very possible. I don't know, but that
Yes.
sounds
Yeah,
right.
we took Edmonds. Yeah, and that Lamar thing, this is a lot of revisionist history. No one in Pittsburgh was championing really to go get Lamar Jackson, to go get him to be the replacement for Ben. It just feels like revisionist history. He would have been fun to have on the team at the time.
Matter of fact, facing him in Louisville a couple times, I wouldn't have had a problem with that. The one thing that I just kept saying when Lamar was in the draft, just please don't let Baltimore get him. Please don't let Baltimore get him.
Yeah.
And of course, where does he end up? He ends up in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Let's see. Joe, realistically, have the Steelers ever always believed they were a contender? LOL. And as to what Mike was saying, Catabaugh says teams losing franchise quarterbacks typically suffer years where at least making playoffs. And Richard says 2 years after, if they spend their money wisely this year, more free agents will be available after this draft. But again, guys, is it the team? Is it because, again, you can zoom out all the way till 10 years ago and say, why did that group of guys, why were they not good to win enough to win a playoff game? What about 5 years ago? Why was that team so bad that they got dominated in the playoffs? Look at the last 6 games, and they just get annihilated again, 76-0 after the first quarter of play. Is it the coaching? Is it the team? Is it preparation? Is it strategy? Because you have a lot of different players over a 10-year period of time, but yet the same results. So at the end of the day, I mean, what are we really doing here? Could this team have been better with better coaching? Could the team that we've had over the past 3 years been a better football team, more prepared in the playoffs? If it was a different system. And again, you got Aaron Rodgers. Let's just say he comes here, guys, Finch, and you have Arthur Smith, who's literally 1 year older than Aaron Rodgers. Whose offense is it truly going to be?
Exactly.
And
there's going to be a real
Smith's
conflict
offense,
of interest there.
Then you got problems. Do we need more problems?
No.
So, again, you might want to ask yourself, as you're trying to figure this whole thing out, I think it's a little bit of everything. The only thing that's been consistent over the period of time is the coaching. Boss says, I'm sorry. Let's go right here. Catabaugh says, I wanted Allen, not Lamar. Catabaugh also says, fine line between good and great. No two ways about that, guys. But nonetheless, you know what? I'm going to say I'm not too super bummed out that Lamar is a Raven, because at this point I thought he would have really beaten us up by now. I think there's only been one or two games where he actually had good games, and they were last year. So all the way up to last season, I think we handled Lamar very well. Lucky for us, we're the Steelers. We know how to play them. Everybody else don't. Richard said coaching is a big part of it. I think people were starting to finally say that aloud. And they didn't know if they were allowed. They're saying that aloud, and they didn't know if they were allowed to say that. But now I think that, everybody is kind of starting to see the same things, guys. It's not the guy's skin color. It's the results. I think you're allowed to say that the guy stinks, if you know, where before it was winning a lot of games. So it had to be something else if you didn't like him. It wasn't the case for me. I seen a pattern. Tortilla says, not to make excuses, because we didn't get blown out by Jacksonville in the playoffs, but we did have a little bit of unfortunate injuries with Shazier and Ben, or players like Bell or Brown problems, Bryant suspension. Hey, I mean, there's a storyline every season, no two ways about it. But other teams are able to bounce back and put a good product on the field. We're just not doing that. Guys, here's a name that had a pro day, Quinn Ewers, guys. Here's a sleeper pick. Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers meeting with the Steelers ahead of pro day. Mike, of all the names you've been seeing thrown around, I I'm an advocate. I think you have to go to quarterback. I think you have to go get your man. What do you think about Quinn Ewers? Again, he's a sleeper. He's meeting with the Steelers. He's just one of many names. Where does he fall for you?
Landry Jones, Mason Rudolph, a backup, someone that you would draft in the
Okay.
5th, 6th, 7th round, and you develop him to be your backup quarterback because he's not going to be your everyday starter, but he would be someone that you would, if he's there in those rounds, you take him and you have him there as a nice little insurance policy because you see it every year. You know, your backup quarterback's going to play a handful of snaps or even a couple games here and there. So he was someone I would look at as a backup quarterback.
Tortilla Jackson says exactly need to be able to play with what you got. And then, and again, it isn't like we don't have a team full of professional football players. It comes down to sometimes, putting them in the right positions to do the right things and win games. Yinzer Joe says, yeah, what about Cole Holcomb? They seem to believe in him. I don't believe one bit. Matter of fact, I put money against Mike. I said, this guy's not going to make it halfway through the season. I have no reason to believe he's going to make it halfway through the season. He had a lot of injury problems in Washington. He come here. He hasn't played, but how many snaps in 2-3 seasons? There's no reason to believe Cole Holcomb is going to be the savior in the middle, guys. We have nice linebackers. This isn't. I don't think the problem. And again, I can't see Cole Holcomb making past 8 or 9 games. I haven't seen it yet. Catabaugh says Pouncey and DeCastro left big holes. I know two ways about that either. Guys. Guys, if you do make it down to the draft this year, next month, which is less than a month away, you could go over to Stage AE for the draft party. This is going to be only on the first round. There's going to be giveaways, live entertainment, photo ops, and more. Get down to the draft on Thursday, April 24th. At Stage AE for the first round. Derpy, you like to go places and get involved with large crowds. Are you going down to this?
No, but probably next year. No, probably
You're
next
gonna,
year.
yeah, you're. I mean, I don't.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, a couple other things around the NFL is this, guys. You're lagging. Let me alone.
You're a lagger.
Here's one, guys.
You're a lagger.
Deion Sanders. He says Shador is hoping for New York, guys. Mike, does he land in New York? I mean, obviously they need a quarterback. They got the same issues that we have.
Oh.
He wants to be in New York. Is that happen?
No.
It could because
he lands in San Diego and his dad gets him traded to New York.
go the Eli route. He could. I don't. Cleveland. I can see them doing something stupid and taking Abdul Carter when they already have a pretty good front four, or a pretty good front with Myles Garrett there. They have a lot of needs. Quarterback's one of them, but I can see them not taking him and allowing him to fall to number 3 to New York. Because I think it's a lock that Cam Ward's going 1. 2, the Browns are the wild card right there, depending on what they're going to do. And if Shador's there, I think the Giants, grab him up at 3.
And that'll be interesting. All the other good players did really well that got drafted by the Giants. See how that plays out. They'll do well eventually when they leave the Giants. But guys, is there anything in the rule changes this year that catches your attention, Mike? I heard that they're possibly guys with the kickoff again and possibly move it back to what it was. Just a few things that pop up in the rule changes this year. Also, I did see that they're fighting the tush push. A couple teams are doing this, and a couple other moves, Mike, and things they will be reviewing in the NFL for this upcoming season. Mike, is there any rule changes that you don't like? Anything that stands out to you? Anything that you've heard that you don't like? What's your take on this year's rule changes, if you know any?
I want the tush push to stay, but I want the rule to be changed to where the defense is allowed to push their players. Because that's the advantage that the offense has. The offense is allowed to get behind it and push their running backs. Why can't the linebackers on defense go ahead and push that big 380-pound defensive lineman? Why is that illegal? But what the offense is doing is not. That it needs to be addressed that way, to where the defense now has equal footing with the offense. So if they're going to change it that way. And no, nothing else. I do like how the Steelers, they submitted something to say, hey, this legal tampering stuff, why do we have to wait until the actual league year to start to have guys visit? If we're already tampering, why can't we just have them come and visit, have them sign their stuff ready to go? So when the shit's announced, it's just done and ready. We don't have to wait 2 days for these guys to fly in for the official league year. So off the field, I want that one back. In the kickoff ones, just pick something and stick with it. That's all I care.
Finch, do you like the kickoff, the new kickoff?
No.
I hate it.
Agreed.
I hate it. Finch,
No.
Derpy, do you like it?
I hate it.
Mike, you like it though, right?
I like it. It doesn't bother me either way. Most of the balls normal kickoffs get kicked out of bounds anyway. So what the hell?
You have to tell them where the onside is. That's just stupid.
Yeah, the onside part is stupid, but
I know. Telling the onside kick, the element of surprises was a big part of it.
That was the best
now
part.
You're shuffling. You're out on the foot. Right. P says with Jameis, Giants winning the Super Bowl, guys. Watch out for the Giants winning the Super Bowl. Cataboss says Holcomb was ready at the end of the season. Rotation guy. All we need from him. Cataboss says football, not rugby. Hey, what's up, my man? Caleb, he says my Jim Palmer posters reporting that Aaron to Pittsburgh is finalized. You know what, guys? I don't doubt it. I just say
I don't doubt it either. As much as I
got to be honest. I think it's just a matter of time now. I think you're going to turn on your TV one day. You're going to pick up your phone any day, and you're going to see that you have to learn to accept it at this point and say, all right, we got a dude that might be able to sling the ball around a little bit, even with his age, even bringing after a 5-12 season from a team that he was supposed to save. I think at some point we're just going to have to get used to it and settle in and say this is our quarterback for next year. Is that the case? We don't know, but like I said, guys, it really feels to me like we're going to wake up one day and our quarterback is going to be a former Green Bay Packer. I just got the feeling. I don't know, Mike. Is there anything that it indicates to you otherwise? Because it's a 1-year thing. They're probably looking at quarterback situations in the draft. It really feels to me, Mike, that this is going to be a 1-year Aaron Rodgers, or possibly 2 years, bring him in so that the young kid could play behind him. But at this point, I mean, does anything else really seem like it's leading the way more than this Aaron Rodgers plan?
No, it sounds like it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. For everything I'm reading, that's the way it sounds like. It's just, when is it going to be Aaron Rodgers? And if not, the Steelers are comfortable going with Mason Rudolph, which I would, just go with Mason Rudolph. It just see what happens. What's the worst that happens? We go 9-8, miss the playoffs. We've been there before.
Yeah.
Might as well try it with Mason.
That. Yeah. If you go out with an average quarterback,
no matter where. Yeah.
If you go out with an average quarterback, which I think people would call Mason because he's a career backup, and he did some good things when he had a chance to start. But most of his career, the fact is he stood on the sideline, which tells you something.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you put an average quarterback out there, I don't think we could expect above average expectations. And again, we kind of fall in that category of the Steelers just not really improving. We just basically are the same team again, and it's going to get to the point where. Again, at first we were starting to say, we're losing a lot of playoff games, but now it's getting to where not much being done that's going to correct the path that we're on. Again, we could say, let's go with Rudy. We like him. He could do the job. But at the end of the day, he's nothing more than an average quarterback. If he gets you more than 10 wins, I think you're lucky, to be honest. So, guys, it does. It feels like we're just going through the motions every year, Mike, and it's frustrating. But again, I think the Steelers, they go after their quarterback this year, whoever it be, whether it be Jax at 21 or whether it be somebody in the second, whether it be somebody in the third. I do think that they address the quarterback position. And if they do that, Mike, and of course, you and Mark and guys on the board said, just keep drafting quarterbacks year after year until something sticks. I mean, I tend to think if we go after and we get that young guy this year, Mike, I think that's the end of the road. I don't think we're going to invest time, because look at how they invested time in Kenny. They gave him a couple seasons. They invested time. I mean, Mason's not even out of the system yet. They brought him back
Yeah.
We don't send guys down the road like that. So it just seems to me like this is only just going to be a process, even more less they say, screw it, we're going to jump in, we're going to grab a quarterback. And I mean, Mike, is there any way that things turn different in Finch and Derpy? What could happen for results to be different this year than we've seen in the past 2 years?
For results want to be different.
New head coach.
That could work.
I mean, it would work. You'd have different
It would
results.
work.
I don't know
Yeah.
if they'd be great results, but it would be different. That's
Yeah.
that's an avenue that a lot of
Maybe-
people are clamoring for. Not me specifically, but there that is definitely an option that would change things. Now, is it an option that's legibly on the table? No, they're not going to fire Mike Tomlin. Other than that, I mean, I don't think there really is one player that can make a difference, right? Even if they were to somehow score the number one draft pick, you're not going to get that kind of action on this team from one player. So it's a lot of puzzle pieces need to fall into place, and it's just a matter of our coaching staff making the right moves.
Like speaking to the quarterback position, if reason I don't want to keep drafting quarterback after quarterback, that's just holes. That's just players you're missing out on that can fill out this roster. That can be an asset on offense, can be an asset on defense. Like, if you don't think there's a starter capable quarterback in this draft, but you think there's backup quarterbacks, great. Draft one of those in the 5th round. Don't draft one in the 1st round. Don't draft one in the 3rd round. Go out, trade down in the 1st round, make some other moves, get a 2nd round pick, get a wide receiver, get a running back, get a defensive lineman, get a quarterback, fill out the roster. So in next year, which might have a better quarterback class, you never know until they actually start playing and do the whole eval process. But if that draft class is supposed to be better than this one, get your quarterback next year, and you still have a Mason Rudolph under roster for this year and next year. You could potentially have an Aaron Rodgers under contract for this year and next year. So you use these next 2 drafts to build out your roster and find your quarterback in the next draft in 2026 when it's in Pittsburgh, not in 2025, when you're kind of reaching for guys.
Tortilla says, isn't there a league where they drop the football from a helicopter and make the players fight for it? We should do that for kickoff. I like that. I like that a lot. And you should give the
think so,
guys
too.
like that foam sword that Derpy bought at the Comic-Con. They should give the guys a couple of those foam swords they can whack each other with. They're trying to get the ball. He says he's Aaron Rodgers, not Jesus. The Jets can't be saved. You know what? I partially agree with what he's saying, because you look at a guy like Baker Mayfield. He changed the organization in Cleveland. He changed. He played very well and good in Tampa. I mean, so bad teams can be saved from a good quarterback. I just don't know if Aaron Rodgers has it anymore. Yes, he's still the guy. Yes, he still has them stupid bug eyes. But I mean, is he going to be able to come out and get you that production that he did when he was winning the Super Bowl, when he was winning those MVP awards? I just don't think that's the guy you're going to get. I think, again, he brings too much baggage at the end of the day. But I do think a good, a top quarterback can certainly change things around. And I think Baker Mayfield did a great job of proving that situation. Tortilla says, I'm okay with Rodgers as our quarterback if we draft it, can hopefully start the chain that Green Bay has going on. Green Bay is doing it right, I got to say. Cataball Warrior says, I would have played in the no pads league if it had been around in my prime. And he follows that up by saying, Dart is a screen. They want Show as my guess. What do you think about that? Show? I know Mike don't like ads. So I went to Derpy. Do you want to say in your Derpy, Dart can possibly be a screen, but really they're looking at Show.
I agree. I would prefer Dart, but I agree with what Warrior's saying.
Okay.
Show isn't a bad pick, but because of his height. But I would prefer Dart if they have the opportunity to get him over Show. But everything that I've seen is that we've been attached to Show. So,
Mike, what do you think?
Like, I'm not a fan of drafting guys that are 24, 25, 26.
Right.
And like you've more, what more production or like growth are you going to get out of them? Yes, quarterbacks play now until they're like 45. So this guy, could have a 20-year career, but you're getting this guy. He's going to be your backup. He's slow. Like, yeah, you don't have to be a running quarterback, but in today's NFL, you really can't be a statue back there. He's
Right.
not. You watch him scramble in the pocket. A lot of it's running backwards, throwing off his back foot, relying on his arm in college to beat, guys that are a whole hell of a lot younger than him. You can get away with stuff like that. What I see and what I've seen of breakdowns of him, he's not going to be a starter. He can be someone who can come in and be your backup, probably be your backup quarterback right away. And that's all he's going to be, is a backup quarterback. This guy's not going to be a starting quarterback in the league. I just don't like what I see from him. He reads to me Brandon Weeden 2.0. Another old guy that performed well against, kids. I'm just not a fan.
Slam and Sam, what's up? What's up on the board? Sam says, I don't think the Steelers make the playoffs with Rodgers. He doesn't fit the system. Boy, wouldn't that be the biggest kick in the balls? If we bring Rodgers in and don't make the playoffs, because everyone's saying, I mean, this guy, at least he could throw the ball. Again, he's going to be another year older, guys. He's in his 40s. He's Finch's age, I think. I mean, in a young man's league, how does that play out? And again, what a kick in the balls that would be after just going 10-7, playoff loss in the first round. Wouldn't it be a kick in the balls if Aaron Rodgers comes and it becomes such a mess? We don't even make the playoffs. I mean, I could see that happening, guys. Again, he brings a lot. He brings a lot of baggage. Again, I can't express that enough. He brings a lot of baggage, Mike. And how long before he's demanding we go out and bring guys here that he likes? And I mean, he's just thing within himself.
The thing is that, like, if we miss the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers, is that a bad thing? If, that would be the losing season that a lot of people are wanting to get a better draft pick. Would that not get us to the result that we want? That a lot of people want? So,
if we go 8-9, no. If we go 8-9, no, it's not what we want. I mean, we'll only be one game better, basically, than we were last year, or one game worse. I don't think that puts us in a much better position. I mean, if we win 3 games or 5 like the Jets did, yeah, it does make a difference. But I think Rodgers is good enough to get us about to where we were. But I'm just saying, wouldn't it be a kick in the balls? Yinzer Joe says, heard a rumor Rodgers may be going on the McAfee show to announce the Steelers signing on the night. I heard this too. I don't know how much weight I put into it because he was supposed to go on the McAfee show and give his pick. Pat McAfee didn't even know that it was going on. He didn't even know that was the rumor. So that's just rumor right now. If it happens, it happens. But I don't know with all that stuff. Guys, we are getting ready to start to wrap things up for today. I just want to throw out these few things. The UFL season, guys, that also starts this weekend, Friday. The St. Louis Battlehawks will be taking on the Houston Renegades. That's at 8 o'clock on Friday. And then there's also games on Saturday. One game Saturday, the San Antonio Brahmas versus the Arlington Renegades, against Arlington. And then Sunday, there's 2 games, Michigan versus Memphis, and then Birmingham versus DC. That's this weekend. We have spring football kicking off this weekend. That's right. There also, guys, is the women. The women will be kicking off here in a month. The ladies from the Pittsburgh Passion. I'm super excited about women's football this year. They did really well last year. They just couldn't get past Boston in the playoffs when they needed to. But they will be back in less than a month. So we have football. We have spring football. We have women's football. We have the draft coming up in less than so much stuff going on here. And again, Thursday. I was wrong. Is there any more days I could be wrong? Pirates pick up on Thursday. They open up against the Marlins on the road. Paul Skeens is going to be on the hill. The tournament continues on Thursday, the March Madness tournament. The Penguins finally winning. So, guys, we got some good sports going on here in Pittsburgh. But again, guys, the important thing here is trying to figure out what we can do to make this football team better in the fall. Again, free agency, the draft, we're doing everything we can, Mike. I don't know how much we've improved with what we've done so far. I think the draft is going to tell a lot about this offseason moving forward. But at the end of the day, guys, it's here. We're moving forward. And with all this other stuff, we're going to be sitting here midsummer saying, wow, I can't believe football is right at the doorstep.
I know it will be here sooner than we think, and I can't wait. I'm ready to just watch people hit each other again. I need that in my life right now.
Slam and Sam says Steelers should draft wide receiver Williams from TCU. Enthusiastic Mod Caleb says also one Dioj coin to Derpy because one coin to Derpy because, well, Derpy, and then a -2 coins to Ryan for the Comic Con mention. You know what? I had to because Derpy dressed up like Superman. How can you not? How can I waited all day yesterday to talk about this? I'm going to be honest with you. Let's see. Tortilla says I feel like they would. I feel like the team would announce it before he had a chance to do that. Could be wrong. Maybe he doesn't tell him until he's live, but I feel like the team would try to get ahead of him. Slam and Sam says he could still be available in the 4th. Over enthusiastic Mod Caleb, tickets to the Marlins opening day starting at $20. Well, it might be worth the travel down to Miami just to get a $20 ticket, right? Most expensive opening day ticket. It was the Japan Series. The Japan Series, guys, that's a $2,000 most expensive ticket. And he ends up saying patience. Patience, guys. Go ahead and tell everybody about the web.
The2dumbyinjures.com. Head on over there, everyone. Let's take a look at it. We got the blog, we got the merch store, all kinds of fun stuff over there. New mock draft will be coming up later this week up on the blog. So check it out at the2dumbyinjures.com.
All right, guys, we're going to do this trivia, and then I have 2 questions I got to get back to you on. Guys, we're going to pick our death pool, see who we got in a new death pool, and then we're also going to say who we feel the Steelers should take with their first overall pick in the first round this year, guys. But let's hop on this trivia question of the day. It's going to be a Pirates trivia because it is opening week, guys. We do open up on Thursday, the season opener. So this is a Pirates trivia. Derpy, Finch, Mike, put on your thinking caps. Everybody on the board, everybody at home. Here we go.
Beep.
What are the Pirates' mighties? What are the Pirates' minor league cities? I guess we could answer collectively because if Mike gets 2 wrong and 2 right, I don't know, Mike. Who do you think? Who are the 4 cities the Pirates have as their minor league affiliates? Finch, Derpy, you guys think too? I'm going to start with Mike. Altoona, okay.
Altoona, Indianapolis.
Okay.
Bradenton for one of the Class A's.
Okay.
Scranton, Wilkes-Barre.
So you have 3 picks right now.
Yeah.
Wilkes-Barre, that's your
Scranton.
pick, okay.
Scranton, Wilkes-Barre. Oh wait, no, that's the Penguins.
That's Penguins.
Right. Yeah, never mind. I'm stupid. We have one in West Virginia somewhere, don't we? Isn't there a West Virginia minor league baseball team that we're?
There is, but we're not affiliated with them.
No, I was thinking we were.
Well, the other one's tough. So number one is the single A team in Bradenton. Bradenton is single A.
Yep.
Double A is Altoona.
Yep.
Triple A, who you also picked, is Indy. The one that we missed was High A, Greensburg, North Carolina is the other one, guys. Those are the
even heard of that one.
The 4 cities. Altoona, let me see, Bradenton, Greensboro, Altoona, and then Indianapolis, guys. So, guys, let's get to what's important. Let's get back to football.
Yes.
Mike, who is your number 1 draft pick?
My number 1 draft pick for the Steelers would be Luther Burden III, wide receiver, Missouri.
All right.
Might be the best receiver in the draft.
Finch, who do you feel should be the first pick of the Pittsburgh Steelers at 21? I mean, obviously they could move up, move down, whatever, but who's your ideal first pick for the Steelers in this draft? Who could make the most of an impact? Who could make this team better?
where we're sitting right now, I think a defensive player would be, a defensive lineman, a defensive tackle, something of that sort would be very helpful to us. I just don't know who's really available at that position. I know that Mason Graham, a Michigan guy, was real high up on people's lists. It'd be nice to get him, but he'll be gone by the time we have a shot. So I really don't know who else we could get at that position. Do you guys know any defensive linemen? We mentioned earlier getting someone in that position, but
Yeah, it would be Kenneth Grant from Michigan, Walter Nolan from Ole Miss, and Derek Harmon
the Ole
from
Miss
Oregon
guy,
are the three that would be available.
yeah, I mean, any one of those guys would be beneficial to our team, in my opinion. If we could get somebody that could really shore up what's going to be a really weakened position in a defense for us. So that's what we could use.
Derpy, who's your first pick? We have a wide receiver. We have a defensive lineman. What do you think?
Well, I'm sticking with my sexy pick. I'm going with Emeka Ibuka as our wide receiver 3.
I knew it was going to be from Ohio State. I just didn't know which guy it was going to be. Is he the running back or is he?
He's the receiver.
Is he a running back or he's a receiver? Okay, so 2 receivers, 1 defensive lineman. I think there it shouldn't be is because this. I think that you can't use your highest pick on a defensive player when you need all of an offense. You need a whole offense, basically. That's why I'm going to discard the defensive lineman for my pick. Also, I'm going to say this. I think you have to go for a receiver, but I don't think you do it in the first round because, again, you have a pretty good receiving room this year, 2 of the best possibly in the league. Of course, most people don't think that George Pickens will be around after the season. So then you go after a second-round receiver, third-round receiver, and work that guy in. I think if you're going to go after your first-round pick, you get the best possible player on the side of the ball that needs it most. I say get your quarterback. Nothing is going to change with the quarterback situations that we have. Guys, I go after Jackson Dart in the first round. That's my pick. So Derpy goes after an Ohio State receiver. Mike goes after a receiver, Missouri. Finch goes after defensive lineman. I say you got to go after a quarterback. That's where it all starts. It's where you start off with everything. So that's, in my opinion, guys, that is who we think that we should take in the first round with our first pick. Now, guys, who is in your death pool? Go ahead and think that over for just a minute. I'm going to climb down this, answer a couple of these questions real quick, address some of the messages.
The heavy fun part of the show.
Yeah, this is the heavy part. This is the fun part. Let me see here. Okay. Scranton is the Yankees, apparently, Finch. Of course, we do have them as our minor league hockey team. But apparently, according to Caleb, he says that Scranton is the Yankees minor league team. Also, P was asking about Norfolk, Virginia. Catabaugh says, I'm in Western North Carolina. That must be in Eastern North Carolina. Caleb says, most famous person born in Greensboro, Edward R. Murrow. Catabaugh Warriors also saying he likes Grant. He likes Grant in the first round. Tortilla is saying Golden would be a great wide receiver pick as well. Tim says Nolan, I think, fits the Steelers the best out of all of those. Grant is a 4-3 guy, he goes on to say. Catabaugh Warrior says hopefully they can trade down, replace the second. And Caleb says, I think the Steelers needed rebounding and post presence dominating power forward. Guys, Fincher, I'm going to start with you, Finch. Who's your death poll? Who's your death poll pick? Of course, we lost a couple people since the last poll we made. Most recently, George Foreman. Who is your pick on the death poll for the new death poll?
I'm going to take I don't want to say easy pick, but I'm going to take the easy road and just think of somebody who's famous and very old. So I'm going with Clint Eastwood.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Solid pick. Solid. That's a solid first. That's how you build a franchise, right there.
Darby, who is your guy? Who?
Celebrity, Mike. Celebrity.
I know.
Mike is a celebrity. Derpy, go ahead.
Denzel Washington.
Oh,
wow.
Denzel. That's interesting. Wow.
I got my eye on you, Derpy. If Denzel goes down, because Denzel's still going strong. Denzel's
Oh,
still
my
looking good and
goodness.
healthy. If he goes down, Derpy, I'm fucking you up.
Mike, who's your death pool pick?
I'm surprised he was not first off the board. This is like passing on Peyton Manning. It's like passing on Drew Luck. I'm taking the Pope.
That's
Okay,
Yeah,
taking my-
yeah, he got
stealing my pick.
the power of Christ on his side, but my man is out there waving like all. Yeah, he's next.
Well, I'm going to have to move past the Pope because he's doing better. He's actually going home. I've seen that his condition is getting better. So I'm moving away from the Pope, and this is my pick. I'm picking somebody that works under Joe Biden, because you just had the 43-year-old girl that was his attorney. She ended up missing 2 days, or she ended up dead 2 days ago. And then a month ago, there was a 20-some-year-old woman who was also involved in his administration stuff, and she ended up dying of a weird death. I'm saying anybody that's young that was under Joe Biden, that's my pick, whoever it is. So I don't know specific
So you're picking
names.
a possibility of hundreds of people instead of nailing down a name like the rest of us. Fair. That's fair.
Yes.
Yeah,
That is fair.
totally fair.
Because I don't care if it's fair. It doesn't matter if it's fair. Listen, the fact of the matter is, if somebody under Joe Biden, like the 40-year-old girl that died the other day, passed unexpectedly, totally healthy, once again,
A
then
name.
that's
Give
my
us a
pick.
name,
And
Ryan.
again,
A name.
No, no, it doesn't have to be fair. I'm making the rules here. Listen. Also, P says double points for Charlie Sheen. I don't think he can be killed. Listen, let's see. Diddy. Listen, Diddy's coming up on the list. Listen. Also, Caleb says, "Can I pick Fidel Castro for the death poll?" Doge Assassins. Guys, also, I do want to say, yes, as Mike said, go check out the website, everybody, www.the2dumbusers.com. That's www.the2dumbusers.com. A lot of cool stuff over there. Mike's been putting up mock drafts, all kind of new stuff. So do go check out the website, www.the2dumbusers.com. Slam, and they did something's odd. Young people just don't die like this. But anyway, that's beside the point, guys. I have all of our picks in. So if anybody dies on our list over the next month, I think we're going to give a month. If people die, people don't die, then we'll just go ahead and make sure that we systematically change it over every month so we can stay fresh. Finch, I like yours. Clint Eastwood, I think he's almost like a Gene Hackman in a sense. You don't hear about him much anymore because he's old, but he's totally famous, and he's got to die sometime. So I think Clint Eastwood is actually a really good pick. Denzel Washington, I don't know what Derpy's thinking. And then also
what the hell,
the
dude?
Pope, so he's getting better.
Right?
I replaced my pick. Chevy Chase.
No, what?
No, Derpy, it's locked in. Derpy.
Wait,
you're
you're
locked
dead.
in.
Why are you even
You're locked in on Denzel.
Chevy Chase.
Nope. You said Denzel. Nope. No.
You got to vote on the board. If the people on the board say you could switch to Chevy Chase, then you can. But if they don't, then you can't. So, guys on the board, give your opinion. Should Derpy be able to switch his death pool pick to Chevy Chase from Denzel Washington? It's to you. Whatever the majority, the answer is, that will be the answer. If they think that you should, then you can. If they think that you shouldn't, you won't be able to. Catabolic Warrior says, I think she was a prosecutor that resigned when Trump got in. She knew too much. Tortilla Jackson says, I'd say the Browns owner, but at this point, I hope he lives forever. Keep it up, bro. We are all proud. Yeah. I don't want that guy going anywhere.
Comment of the day. There it is. That's the winner.
There it is, everybody. And also, guys, the women, they do kick off next month in football. We'll get more into that. I believe we do have a guest coming also from that team as well. We do have a couple guests in the work here over the next month or so with a lot of sports kicking off here in Pittsburgh. So do stick around to check that out as well. We are working on that every day. Mike, anything if we do start getting ready to wrap things up, brother?
I got nothing. All
right. Caleb says he will only allow Derpy to switch the Costco guys and no one else. For the day.
Not a whole lot. Like I said, I'm heading out to Vegas this weekend, so I'll try not to get arrested or anything. But if I see anything cool that's Pittsburgh related or sports related, look for it in the Discord. I'll post some pictures.
Cool.
All right. We hope you have a safe and have a good time and win some money. That'd be great. Good luck to you on that. If we don't talk to you by then, Finch, and also Finch is going to be putting up something that he threw together on Friday night, so they won't be live on Friday night at 9:30. But Finch has something that they've been working on with a bunch of clips he put.
Yeah, look for a video
together.
on Friday from me.
So do check out the Two Cranky Jagoffs Friday night at 9:30. The following week, right, Finch?
That's right. That's
Will you be back next weekend, Finch? Okay.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay.
Yep.
So Finch is the Two Cranky Jagoffs should be back on next Friday. Sounds good. Slam and Sam says I'd say Jerry, but then we lose America's joke. Tortilla says two big booms. Boom, boom. Costco rocks. P. Morton says Catabora, have a good one, guys. I want a Costco chicken bake. Caleb says, Derpy, anything from you before we get ready to take off, man?
Dang it, tortilla. Now I want a hot dog.
I'm good, thanks.
The other one was Mike. You're still bald.
All right, Derpy. Yeah. Anything before we take off, Derpy?
To make it extra shiny.
I'm bald and beautiful, Derpy. I am bald and beautiful. Don't be a hater.
Oh no, Finch!
Boy.
No,
so we did everybody day. It was a busy day today.
Two Lex Luthors now.
Oh.
No, Finch! No, the meme is
What's
dead.
going on? Look at what's going on. We did get our death pool picks, guys. We also got our a lot of things in today. Pirates will be back Thursday, kicking off their season against the Miami Marlins. Penguins back in action today. They play the Lightning tonight at 7 o'clock. Of course, NCAA action won't be back until Thursday as well. So everybody, we have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, Mike, we're going to work on some things here, some tech stuff, and if things go well, we'll be back here tomorrow. Hopefully, that's the case. But we're going to start unscrewing things and getting into things and figuring out how to fix what we need to fix here. But I do want to thank everybody for stopping by and hanging out with us today. We do appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. We want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show, and everybody at home or at work or wherever you're at. So much. We appreciate you as well. Cataboss, you guys look like twins. And look at Caleb. He goes, I'm even a baldy too. So there you go, guys. Thank you to Tortilla.
Thank you,
guys, anything else? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Finch, Derpy, Mike. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, everybody. For Finch, for Derpy, for Mike in the Steeler mobile studio, also myself, the Two Dumb Yingers. I hope you have a great day. We're going to get to work on some stuff around here today. It's going to be busy to try to get things fixed. But we'll be back first thing tomorrow to go over all of the things that's happened between now and then. We're going to keep digging for some Steelers scoop, and we hope to have some good stuff for you in the morning. For everybody, for Finch, Derpy, Mike, myself, the Two Dumb Yinzers, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.